Probably the biggest impact a student maybe is going to feel from starting out as a first year is going to be the fact maybe the transition from secondary school, or maybe like if they're at a tech or something, or if they've been working, like that transition from that environment to going to university and studying independently, and suddenly for a lot of students, if they go away from home or go obviously maybe go abroad or to another university somewhere else, I suppose that feeling of uncertainty and I don't know, the adventure for something new and just how you want to adapt and how you want to cope, and just the natural nerves probably.
The change, the freedom, isn't it? It's about now not really living with your mum and dad all the time, and they're not asking you, telling you that you have to do all your work. It's all in your own head. It's about sort of being responsible for what you're doing, isn't it?
It's probably the progression from secondary school to university level.
Yeah, like the difference in coming to being kind of teaching yourself a lot of the course. You're being guided, but then you have to go and do so much behind the scenes.
Yeah, sort of self-directed learning, I suppose.
Yeah, like the adjustment from first year to third year. What are you doing at the minute?
I'll be going into third year. So it's been a lot about just self-directed learning and getting to the stage where you can take yourself through third year.
In terms of that, not just the freedom of living, it's also the freedom of in class, where you come from that structured environment where the teacher does everything for you, and tells you how to do things, strict deadlines that they make you aware of the whole time. Whereas at uni, you don't have that. You don't have that teacher or lecturer coming up and telling you, you have to have it done right now. This is what stage you should be at, and constant assessment. So assessment kind of changes. The whole idea of assessment becomes self-assessment, and you have to use those little bits of assessment and feedback from the lecturers when you get them, because they don't have the time to spend with us that the teachers would.
Have to become a bit more responsible for yourself and
Yeah.
all your actions and everything that you do.
It's a tough change to get used to, but
Yeah, it's probably most unsettling, sort of shocking year that you're going to have, because everything just completely changes. You're coming out of a school environment, or you maybe feel like you've been mothered, and you've had people constantly at your fingertips to say, well, I don't understand something, or can you help me with this, and they're making sure you get work done, because if you don't, you're reprimanded, and it's going to impact. The only person that's going to not benefit will be yourself. But then you come to university and it's all about self-motivation and holding yourself to account and making yourself get up in the morning and go to class, and you realise that for once this is you paying for your education. So just probably that culture shock. Just you get away and you want to do things, and
moving from a couple hundred people to thousands and thousands of people around you, and it's just such a massive change.
Well, one of the biggest difficulties settling into first year maybe would have been, because you don't know anyone.
Yeah, meeting a new group of people.
Yeah, and I find especially in psychology, because it's just you're going to your lectures and you're not really interacting, and when you do go to the seminars, you're kind of just sitting there and you don't really know anybody, and you don't get to know your classmates. Like in third year, I was still finding out the names of some of the girls and guys in my class, and so that's difficult. You're not trying to make friends within the class because you aren't interacting with your classmates. You're just.
I suppose icebreakers are good. If the tutors sort of support icebreakers and they help you meet other people, and it's going to be easier for you throughout the year.
Yeah, because then there's loads of students who travel, and they never then interact. And in Magee, because we have the student village just right beside, and the body of students that come from there into the village, they all interact because they socialise outside of the classroom, and then they go to class together, and they're more interactive within the class then. Whereas the ones who maybe come up on a bus every morning don't really know anyone, and then they would obviously drop out more.
Right, they miss out from meeting people as well.
Yeah, and they miss out on the learning as well, because when you have your friends in the class, they help you, we help each other.
Yeah, because my class hasn't really gelled properly until this year's final year, and sure, you learn so much more. If there's some people are better maybe through their A levels in one particular area, and then they can help everyone else and bring other people up. It's much more better when you're working together as opposed to just being competitive against each other. Everybody will benefit.
not 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. Like as a first year coming in, you're obviously, you know, at the beginning of the first semester, you really want to do everything and be amazing, like the best in the class, and you're so like buzzed up about being a big student. So like I would give the first years like their Friday mornings because someone has to do the Friday morning slot.
Yeah.
Whereas like coming into the end of second year and third year, like Mondays and Tuesdays and like especially for those who travel, like it's easier to have them like in a row, not on one. You know, if they wanted to get it one stay one night and like in a travel lodge up the road, because I know like there's a couple of girls who do that, and they're really put out if there's a gap between the days because they're doing all this travelling about.
I heard a story of like there was a girl in Jordanstown. She had a 9 o'clock lecture, went up for an hour and a half, and her next lecture wasn't until I think it was 4. And you know what I mean? So and she lived so far out that it was ridiculous for her to go home.
That happens all the time.
We had first year we had a 9 o'clock lecture. We had like 2 hours in the morning, and then we had labs that started at 6 o'clock. This is awful. Like it was fine living in halls. I could go back to halls, have lunch, and do a bit of work maybe. But people who travelled had to hang around all day. People travel like for 2 hours maybe in the morning to get in my class. So
well, I know what we do sometimes, like in our seminars, because our class is so big. The seminar group is split into 2, so those who travel are allowed to come to the first one, and those who like live in the student village or the road come to the second one. But the numbers always dwindle, you know, whoever goes to the second one, because people don't want to wait around. Like that.
I suppose you can get like a basic attitude of just students think they're bored and waste of time, but I mean attitudes like that will probably die off after first year, after you realise how serious they are whenever you start taking university a bit more serious. You know what I mean? Because the more you sort of attend lectures, realistically the more you take in, the more you learn, and the more information you have to write essays and do work and benefit yourself in your course, I suppose.
In first year you don't really have like a relationship with your lecturer because you know, the whole change is so daunting, and then by third year like you've got your own supervisor and you build up this wee rapport with them.
Yeah, it's more intimate, you know, because you can talk in depth about more of your essay or your presentation.
Yeah, it's like in my course we have the same core lecturers pretty much the whole way from first year, and you do build up a relationship with them and do get to know them, and you know what they expect as well, and it's a lot easier for getting better marks too, because you sort of get to learn what different people want in their work. And
I don't know, I think it's also about what you're going to do afterwards. It's not really purely about what the university can do, but you know, the availability of jobs and how things are happening out there, but how you are also told that your course can sort of be changed. You know, because you're doing one course doesn't mean that's what you have to do with your life.
Yeah.
You know, there's transferable skills in there that it sort of shows you, you know, that you can do so much more, and it gives you those opportunities, and being told about those opportunities might just be able to help you to sort of realise that, you know, certain things that you mightn't enjoy, but you can still take the bits that you enjoy and go and look for a job in that area. And I think that, you know, really helps to drive you forward.
Well, on my course, we usually would get halfway through the semester a piece of coursework to hand in, and then at the end of the year we would have an exam, or if it was a practical module, we would have a practical piece that we would then hand in at the end of the year.
Our particular course would be very much the same. We would halfway through have an essay, paper coursework due, and towards the end then we would actually have an examination based on that. And that does effectively work, but what I would love to see changed is when we do have the coursework for the lecturer, you know, once everything's in and submitted, just to say this is what I was looking for. Those of you that actually answered the question, this was what I was looking for. Those of you that answered a certain way, that really wouldn't work, because, and give you reasons why. I think it'll help guide you. You'll certainly think about it, and chances are it probably crops up in the test, and it's a good learning tool as well.
Mainly in my course we've had a real mixed approach. Some modules very coursework based, some more concentrate on the exams, and feedback hasn't been a big part. Mainly we just get marks, or with the likes of presentation, maybe just afterwards, that was really good, you covered the points well, but it doesn't really get backed up much with feedback.
Feedback we would usually get would be on a mark sheet. You know, we get your mark and general comments about what you were good at and what you weren't so good at. It's been particularly helpful then when students call you in for a one-to-one session to actually take you through your paper. So I suppose I would like to see more modules doing the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with the marking sheet. The marking sheet's very good. Yes, it gives you your overall grade and there's a checklist, but I would like to see, yes, the check and the grammar was done when it comes to the actual feedback, not to have something that just says, you know, the grammar was good, the spelling was good. That should all be taken as just a check, but to personalise it.
Yeah.
Yes, you understood the concept, and maybe even just a line on strengths, line on weaknesses, learn from that, and put that into the next piece of coursework or assignment. It's really,
Yeah, I think I would like the same to start popping up more with our modules, like your strengths and weaknesses, what you need, like you're doing fine here, but you need to start looking at this a bit more depth here. Just something that gives you something to work with.
And you also know where you quite wrong too, don't you?